So it's all for play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, villains. Welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. As we look forward to Aston Villa's home debut, are we going to call it in this iteration of the Champions League? Before I fall victim of people coming at me. Obviously, I know Villa have been in the European Cup before, but just looking to see if, we're just talking about this iteration of the Champions League so far. But we obviously have Bayern Munich. A lot of people have been really looking forward to this. I know you've been looking forward to it, Paddy. You know, to see Villa against top tier European opposition. That's not to denigrate any of the teams we played in the Conference League last year, but like, this is a glamour tie. This is one of the big boys of Europe, and it's going to be great to see them see Villa go up against them tomorrow at Villa Park. And I suppose, Paddy, before we look into this, it is going to be played against the backdrop of an uncharacteristic performance under Unai Emery at the weekend against Ipswich. And I know I didn't speak to you about it yet, Paddy, but give us, I suppose, in 400 words or less, what your feeling was about the game against Ipswich at the weekend.
It definitely will not take me 400 words anyway, that's for sure. First and foremost, I was bitterly disappointed with the performance, because I feel that these are the games we need to make sure we take the 3 points from. I thought we looked passive and lethargic and easily played through. There are certain players in particular that we could point fingers at for that reason. And I am, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed at the performance. Part of me thinks there was one eye on what's happening tomorrow. Part of me thinks there's a couple of players that, or at least one player who has no business playing at this level if his head's not in it. And it certainly looked like Diego Carlos was on a different planet and not in Portman Road at the weekend. So that's my worry ahead of what's coming at us over the next couple of weeks. We've obviously got Man United, which, no matter what way you look at it, no matter how bad they are, they've always been our bogey team. So we just don't know what they're going to throw at us on Sunday. So we need to be at the top of our game tomorrow. We need to be at the top of our game Sunday. And yet we've had a couple of games where Diego Carlos has been anything but at the top of his game. But he's not alone. I thought, the likes of Leon Bailey hasn't started the season well, hasn't got going. We spoke about Ollie Watkins, he has finally got goals, all right, but probably not back to his full self just yet. It would be great to see that tomorrow, obviously, but it would be great to have the 3 points on the board from the weekends. Also, Emi Martinez, who I'm his biggest fan. There was a number of things that were questionable at the weekend, and we have to eradicate them from the games. Otherwise, teams like Bayern Munich are going to come to Villa Park and punish us for mistakes that maybe, lesser teams wouldn't. But as we saw, Ipswich will. If you're like at any stage of this Premier League season, teams will get punished. You saw us punish the mistake made by Ipswich for Morgan Rogers' goal as well. That is just what good teams do. So we've a lot of good teams coming to Villa Park this season. So we need to be winning the games that we should win. And I felt at the weekend that was a game that we should have won. And I've probably gone over the 400 words now at this stage.
You've definitely gone over the 400 words. Not that I was counting. But look, as I say, I'm very much of a case of wipe the slate clean from the weekend. You're only as good as your last game. Look, a lot of people go by that. I don't really. Look, we've got a body of work that's been put in under Unai Emery. Individual mistakes at times cost us, and move on towards Bayern, where hopefully we put one of those great performances out of the bag like we did so many times last season. And I've no reason to believe that we can't do that as well. But one of the biggest things, Paddy, I think that we should turn our mind to is the huge news about Harry Kane that's come out recently. Did you know, Paddy, that Harry Kane has become the face of a porridge brand in Germany. That is the big news on goal.com currently as we speak, that Harry Kane has become it's outstanding question or exclamation mark. Harry Kane becomes the face of porridge brand as Bayern Munich and England star aims to grow 75 million fortune with his new venture. Shall we read on? I don't think we will bother. Yeah,
the only thing I need to know about Harry Kane indeed the rest of this season is whether the fucker is playing tomorrow night or not. Other than that, I could not give a shiny shite about Harry Kane and his miserable fucking long face. So hopefully it's a case of that he's out of the game tomorrow. Make life a little bit easier for us. We don't
know. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't look like.
No, it's impossible to say. They're keeping the cards very close to their chest. And
well, actually, I'll tell you, bullynews.com. And by the way, for anybody wondering, this is pre-recorded at early o'clock this morning before we head to work. But Bayern Munich have received a boost out of their Champions League away trip to Aston Villa. Harry Kane did. England captain is Monday's training session as a result, but he should be ready to start for Bayern versus Villa at Villa Park on Wednesday. But they will be without Josip Stanisic and Sacha Boey. But yeah, it looks like he will be available, but we will revisit that tomorrow. You know, this is Tuesday when we're recording this, so a lot can happen. It seems like it was only just a painful kick to the ankle. Maybe he just straps it up, whatever the case is. But look, a hobbling Harry Kane is a Harry Kane. Like if you've got a target on your ankle, every little time you come in contact with somebody, use those studs, rake it down the ankle. Look, that's the way sport goes. Unfortunately, injuries happen.
It's the way sport goes, but. It'll be us that get punished, unlike Ipswich did at the weekend. So you need to be very careful when you're raking those studs, especially when it's.
I'm saying if the two of you are walking around and every so often you go, oh Jesus, sorry. Oh Jesus, sorry. Oh sorry, did I stand on your toe? Oh Jesus, sorry. Oh, I'm very sorry. That kind of thing. You know, gentlemanly stuff. I'm not saying that you go in for a tackle and you rake down and do anything like that. I'm just saying consistent minor pressures as opposed to one maximum pressure. That's that'll give you an insight into the nuisance I was when I used to play football. And it's pretty much sport in general, to be honest with you. The dark arts were quite prevalent. Dark arts were quite prevalent. I was a big fan of flicking in hurling matches. A big fan of flicking off the clips for people's helmets, so that when they went to run, the guard of their helmet would flap up. Big fan of that. No, you get sent off for that nowadays, but I don't have to worry about that anymore. Anyway, getting on to things like I suppose how Villa are going to set up for this game. Unai Emery, I read somewhere and I didn't hear it, but I read somewhere that Unai Emery more or less said that he's going to play with Diego Carlos and Konza right back again. Which, look, I'm going to be honest, I did a lot of flapping about it in the post-match, but it's our best combination that we have at the moment. I'm not going to say it's our best combination because I'm going to get absolute penters. I'm going to say it's the sensible combination for us at the moment. You don't throw Lamar Bogard into this game, and you don't throw Kostin Jelkovic. And I know people will point to that game for Serbia against Spain about throwing Kostin Jelkovic in there. And look, you could, and he may very well do that. But the conservative option, as I said in the Ipswich game, was to start Carlos and Konza there. I don't like it. I don't want to do it. I want to have a different. I would like to have a different permutation where Konza gets to play at right centre back. But I just don't. I'm afraid I just don't see it. I don't see it happening.
I don't see any change. I didn't hear what I obviously read the same thing as you read, but I didn't see him say it or listen to him say it.
Yeah.
I believe that it's a risk. We have our best centre half playing at right back, and our worst centre half playing at right centre back, or worst centre half available, I should say. So for me, it's a risk. I would much rather see Nedeljkovic in there from the start. That's just my opinion. That this is obviously a fan's opinion and not the opinion of somebody who's managing this team sensibly. And he obviously sees a reason why he wouldn't pick Nedeljkovic and hasn't done. He's picking Bogard over him on a number of occasions. So I have no doubt in my mind that it will be Carlos and Konza are right back tomorrow. Am I happy about it? Absolutely not. Am I worried about it? 100%. So that is my overriding worry on the thing. And plus, Alphonso Davis is going to have a fair
He might
as
even,
is Serge
might even start
Gnabry.
tomorrow. The Alphonso Davis might even start tomorrow, but that's like that's another conversation. But you said who you said there was Serge Gnabry, I think is who I'm a bit more afraid of. But look, I'm gonna say something here as well. I think Ipswich wasn't good, but I do also think, and I've been guilty of it as well, of catastrophizing the Ipswich result. As I say, you got to play the hands that you're dealt. Like, the Ipswich result is gone, and I think a lot of people will come into this game going, "Well, if we play like we did against Ipswich, yeah. Well, if my auntie had balls, she'd be my uncle." You know, that's the reality of it. If we play, and this isn't, I'm not having a go at you. I'm talking in generalities here, I suppose, with regards to this. But like, just because Kanza and Carlos, and both of them were poor at the weekend. Kanza was not good at right back at the weekend either, and neither was Diego Carlos.
He gets a pass because he doesn't play there. He shouldn't play there.
And that's what I'm saying. That's exactly. And he's come out and he said he wants to play right centre back. He doesn't, like, he was asked straight out, "Do you want to see get more time at right back?" He goes, "I hope not. I hope I play right centre back." And look, I think that is the reality of the situation, is that Villa will want to get him back in there. Villa wanted Gertrude. We couldn't get Gertrude. But like, my thing here is, if Nedeljkovic had gone in and put in the performance that Kanza did at right back, being a right back and being an 18-year-old, and I'm not saying he should get this treatment, but would people have given him the same treatment that Lamar Bogart got? Would people have given him the same treatment that Kanza got at the weekend? What I'm trying to say here is that I don't think it's an either or for anything like that. I'm not saying that I think that everybody's entitled to a shit day. And I think they didn't. Just because they had a shit day against Ipswich doesn't mean they're going to have a shit day against Bayern. And that's just me, putting it together, I suppose, from that point of view, hoping that they don't. And this is more it's not anything back to you about what you said or anything. It's not who agrees with me, because sometimes the two of us are talking and we're just putting different opinions as a kind of a counterfactual or a counter argument or a conversation, because it's difficult for the two of us sometimes to have conversations because we both more or less believe the same thing. And then you get comments on the night going, "I agree with Paddy, I agree with Neil." And I don't think either of the two of us are ever disagreeing with each other to any great degree. But I think what I'm saying is true, that, you know, that they could go out and have the game of their lives against Bayern Munich on Wednesday, and it'll all be seen. But
the other side of things is you have got probably the biggest occasion that this club has seen.
This is it.
In 40 odd years. So if a player can't get himself up for that, then there's something wrong. So the players are going to be up for it. Doesn't mean they're not going to make a mistake though when they're up for it, because you know, you can have all the warm hearts you want, but if you don't keep the head cool and you dive into a stupid challenge, or you miss a tackle that you should be winning, and you give away a stupid penalty, you know, we will be punished. They're obviously a really, really good side, and I really don't want to go hard in on our guys, but the long and the short of it is that we tried to offload Diego Carlos during the summer. I don't think that's any secret to anybody. No. The dog in the street could see we were trying to do it, and we couldn't. And as a result, we missed out on Lutrell Gertrude, who would have been in that situation and would have brought a world of experience into this team tomorrow. But these are the cards that we have. We've obviously got a world-class manager, and he feels that that's the best possible available team to him. For now, we've obviously got Matty Cash back on grass, and look, it's he's not far away, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people very happy when he's back.
Yeah, I think so too, and that's something I mentioned in the Ipswich game as well, is that, you know, much maligned. Like, I was alluding to it previously, because no right back in probably, well, Alan Hutton gets it because of his goal against Blues, but no right back, I would say, really, for Villa in the last 15 years has gotten an easy run of it. It seems to be a position that like you're either very good at it or you're average, and there's no kind of middle of the road with regards to it. And sometimes, not every team has a very good right back. From that point of view, it's a position that can be exposed because wingers are good. Like other teams have good players, and that's the thing that kind of kills more so about the Ipswich game is that it was a mistake. There was mistakes for the first goal that were easily cut out, and there was mistakes for the second goal that should have been easily cut out. Like there was positional mistakes. There was a mistake from Ezra Konza with the pass, and there was, Carlos didn't his position for where he was when he actually tried to and the lap didn't even feint him or anything like that. Carlos just kind of made up his mind for him. But anyway, we won't legislate that again. Looking forward to Bayern Munich, as I say, and the reason I say about the teams of good players and teams of good wingers, that they will have very, very good wingers, regardless of who they play. And whether they're a 4-2-3-1 in possession or they're a 4-1-4-1 out of possession, they're going to be very difficult, and they're going to be able to put good players in the field. And a lot of them we're going to be very familiar with. As I mentioned previously when I did this, that they've signed Michael Elise, like he's going to be in there on the right-hand side. So Ian Matson or Luca Dean, as I presume it will be, isn't going to have an easy day of it either. João Palhinha, who we're going to know very well, is going to be anchoring down at midfield, I would imagine. As well, maybe. 2 new signings, maybe not exactly 2 new signings that they have made, 2 big ticket signings. Obviously, players that they've let go out have been Matthias de Ligt and Mazraoui and whatever. We've been through that before. So their lineup at the back is, and this is why I say Alphonso Davies may or may not start, because their back four has been. I'm going to say rotational, but they've had a lot of injuries in there. In the last over the last few games, like Sacha Boy is definitely going to be out. Like will Guerrero start at left back? I'd imagine Davis will start there. Minje and Upamecano, who you're not a massive fan of there, and feel probably I would imagine you're going to think he's somebody we can get at. There at the centre of the fence. But they've got horses in spare as well. Eric Dyer can come in there. Ito, who they've signed recently, can come in there as well, and they won't be lacking for any reinforcements should they need to bring anybody into that back line. I think for sure. Yeah,
well, look, I think it's going to be a day for the likes of Rodgers, JJ if he starts, Bailey, to be getting these guys on the back foot. But I think the matchup that we all want to see at some stage in this game is John Duran up against those 2 centre halves, because I reckon they will absolutely be rabbits in the headlight with him running at them. Upamecano has a mistake in him, but will we be pressing high enough to force that? I'm not so sure. Kim, obviously, decent enough player, but still that for me, those 2 centre halves are the weakest link in the whole Bayern setup, and it'll just depend on how we get if we can get into position to excite that. I think that's where we could get a bit of change.
Yeah, moving on to their midfield, as I said, they'll probably, I'd say they'll go with 2 in midfield. Like Pavlovic scored an absolute screamer at the weekend. Somebody we're really going to have to look after. A young player, really well thought of. Like they basically saw him come up and went, yeah, we can dispose of Leon Goretzka, who is a fine player in his own right. Has Man United written all over him, to be honest with you, but he's a fine player and he's in his own right. And they're going to play, I would imagine it'll be, Kimmich will probably play at right back now maybe, but Leimer and Pavlovic maybe in midfield there, maybe Palhinha. So that, once again, they've got ample bodies that they can play there, and very, very experienced players. And then you get up to this is just an embarrassment of riches up front. Even if Harry Kane was out, Matthias Tells comes in, probably plays up top, or maybe they move Thomas Muller and play him up top there. But they've got Elise, Musiala, Gnabry, Coleman, Thomas Muller, Leroy Sané. Every single one of the players that you see on that page there, probably with the exception of Matthias Tells, gets in our team.
Well, in that lineup you're looking at there, yeah, absolutely. And let's be honest, I would say nearly everybody have listed as a starter. So I'm looking at Elise, Musiala, Gnabry, Kane, Pavlovic, Kimmich, Guerrero, Davis, and Neuer. So that's 9 of the 11 would probably get into our squad, if not into our team. It's just an incredible side, and it's going to be an intense tactical battle. But for me, it all hangs on Kane. If Kane is fit, that just gives them that outlet to hold the ball up and bring those 3 players into play. And if they're not getting into play, look what has to come off the bench: Coleman or Sané or Tells. Unbelievable stuff. Obviously, I don't want Kane to play because he will do damage. I don't like him as a footballer. I prefer my footballers to be more honest on in their game. But he's just not. There's nothing likable about him for me. And I just have this illogical fear that he's going to cause us untold damage and dive for a penalty, which won't be overturned by VAR. But look,
I don't think you've got a
regardless of whether
rational fear.
Pardon?
I don't think you've got a rational fear about that. We've seen it too many times.
Well, that's it. Yeah. But look, the team that they have is absolutely immense. It's just mind blowing that they've so much at their disposal, considering you only need to pay about 20 quid to get into the stadium.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's always mad to see like what their record transfer fee is and all that kind of stuff as well. But then again, they can poach from within the league. So like it's almost I think there's been a psyop in Bundesliga football whereby it says you have to play for Bayern at some stage or else you're nothing, and I think a lot of players within Germany grow up thinking that, and believing that well, I've made it. I get my move to Bayern and I've made it. And in some aspects, sometimes they feel that that's a bigger honor, especially for people down around that area. That's probably a bigger honor than playing for the German national team at times. And I know I'm going to get, well, definitely there's somebody who I work with who if he watches this, he's going to be in the comments giving out to me about this, because I have hot ball about that with him before. That playing for Bayern is a better honor than playing for Germany, but he knows I'm only messing if he's watching this. So look, I don't know, is there any much more really to talk about? The team sheet tantrum is going to be interesting. It's one I'm looking forward to. I think you're going to be working for that one tomorrow, Paddy. I think you're going to be out and about for that one, so we might have you for that tomorrow. Am I right in saying?
More than likely not, no. But if I'm back in time, I will be on. But if not, we'll get on afterwards or get on Thursday for a chat.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll plow ahead, and we'll work away. But as long as you're able to watch the match, that's the main thing. So
that's my fear now. Tomorrow is just getting that being able to watch it is the most important thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Time management, Penny. Time management is important. Right. Going to leave it at that, everyone. Thanks a million for watching and for listening. Give us a like, follow, subscription, whatever the hell we're supposed to do on any of the relevant platforms that you're on. And also, if you're watching this and you already do subscribe or you already do like the podcast, pop in a lion face emoji into the comments just to drive the algorithm mad. We love when that happens, and it's actually working, because when I ask people to do that, we do get more views on our podcast. So please do that. But listen, look, massive game for Aston Villa, back in the Champions League, back at Europe's top table, and back playing at home in Europe's top table as well. So I know I can almost feel the positive energy and the excitement coming from Villa Park all the way over here in Ireland. And I think
once tomorrow comes upon us and people start to arrive at Villa Park, the performance against Ipswich will be long forgotten, and everybody will get behind the team.
Oh yeah.
All I hope and pray for is that we keep it tight and keep them on the back foot early in the game, and hopefully we can get ahead and make it really, really hard for them, because they will press us high. They've had an incredible press since Kompany came in. So that's something that worries me. We will need to be on our game, and hell, we may need to be kicking long balls off the deck from Emi Martinez as opposed to passing the ball out from the back. But I'm sure the King will have them well drilled and well set up for it.
I think so, for sure. Right, we're going to leave it at that, everyone. Thanks a million for watching and for listening. We'll see you tomorrow for a Team Sheet Tantrum. As I say, this has been a pre-recorded podcast, so if you're asking us any questions, we apologise we didn't get to them. Pop them in again during the Team Sheet Tantrum, and I'd be delighted to chat you through them then as well. But thanks a million for listening and for watching. As always, we'll see you tomorrow. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, and all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.